All right, so we are Ken and Kerri Courtright. We have a 25-year-old company called Income Store. It's kind of an apropos name because what we do is we meet with individuals, companies, private equity firms, and we basically grab their money and put their money into a revenue-generating website. It could be, like I mentioned earlier, WebMD, that makes $600 million. But we have some sites that only make $1,000 a month. We have some sites that make 20 grand a month, some sites that make a couple hundred grand a month, right? But it doesn't matter, it depends on whatever the people's needs are. So if we look at this next slide, what we actually do is we find website partners, people that want to fund something. They need 500 a month, they need 2 grand, whatever it is, right? And then we make a decision with our 100 employees, do we help them build something? Or do we go out to the market and find something already making money and we go buy that for them with their money, and then they have an asset producing a pretty tremendous return, and away we go. So, what is a revenue-generating website? This is our number one question. What is a revenue-generating website? So there's 1 billion websites today, 1.1 billion. But every time you open a website after this presentation, see if you see at the top or on the right-hand side of a website anything that looks like an advertisement. And on 85% of websites worldwide, and there's 1 billion sites just in America, and 85% of them, you'll see some form of an ad. And these ads, the best part about this, you don't even have to click on them, and whoever owns this website is making money. So these are called display ads. So if we go back to WebMD, if you open WebMD and you're Googling, my kid has the sniffles, you might see an ad for Nasonex nasal spray. You do not have to click on it, and WebMD made money. Every 1,000 page openings, they get a big fat check from Nasonex nasal spray. So it's pretty cool. So we do the same thing. So the most famous one, WebMD made $632 million. We do mini versions of this. Again, some of our sites only make 10 grand a year. Some of them make millions, okay? And we split that revenue 50-50 with our partners.
Well, everybody knows in order to eventually retire, you need to have a pile of money, right? Okay, so there's the traditional way of having your pile of money that's going to work, coming home, making sure that you put some money in savings account, and you put your pile gets bigger, pile gets bigger, it keeps going, growing, and the whole point of that is to have enough pile in the bank account in order to use the insurance and retire it when you reach that golden age of whatever that golden age happens to be based on, I think now Social Security is at 67? Maybe higher as the years go by, right? And the other way, which is a cash flow asset, and it's like having a tangible piece of property. So a lot of people that you probably know or yourselves go buy a piece of property, invest in it, and then you get a tenant in. And of course, when you have that rental property, you're dealing with the tenant, you're dealing with the toilet, you're dealing with your taxes. You get to deal with all those fun things unless you make enough money where you can actually hire a company, a management company, to come in and do it for you. Well, the pile theory is his dad's way of doing things, and he's now retired. My parents was their way of retiring was a cash flow asset, which was property. My parents had a lot of property. What we did is we put those together, and we decided we'd have a cash flow asset, and that is having a piece of, we call it a piece of rental property online. See, nowadays, a website's considered an intangible asset by the IRS. It never used to be, but now it is. So you think of it as your website as a piece of property online, and we are the management company. We take care of it. We make sure that there's ad revenue there's generating in there. We make sure that it's not broken, that it's always continued to upkeep. But the best part about what we do is, unlike a piece of property where you have to wait till the next year to raise the rent property, right? Raise the rental income, we actually try to grow because we get to partner up with you. So when we partner up with you, we don't want that property to just stay at, say, $10,000 a month. We want to keep it growing and growing and growing because if you win, we win. It's a great win-win property. So the other question we get is, are there enough assets out there for us? Well, there's 2.6 million pieces of real estate out there which you can buy. Again, of that property, you have to make sure that you find the one in the right location, has the right amount of taxes, will be in a good position to one day grow. Well, we have the same thing, but we have 1 billion pieces of property, online property, to choose from in order to find something that will work for you and work for us, that will continue to grow.
Yep. And to date, we have done this over 800 times. As of last week, we have done this 864 times, that people have come to us and said, Ken, Kerri, I really need $700 a month. How quickly can we get to that? We've had people come to us say, Ken, Kerri, I need $45,000 a month like yesterday. How quickly can we do that? What do I need to put to the table to bring in that kind of income with you guys helping us out? So we have done this hundreds of times. So here's a quick brag sheet. I think this is very relevant and important for people to understand why would they want to consider working with us. So this is our 25th year in business. We've been working together since '92, 101 employees as of 2 weeks ago. We manage and share revenue on over 800 websites. This is my favorite one. We have 52 full-time writers that write content for us. And we do 8,000 pieces of content a month across our websites. And as of a couple weeks ago, we have 197 million pieces of content in Google's database through our 800 websites. We were honored in 2013, 15, 16, and 17 as one of the top 5,000 fastest growing U.S. companies out of 18 million. And in 2016, thank you for clapping for that. That was not easy. We're a 25-year overnight wonder. Yeah. In 2016, Forbes honored us. 2017, Inc. magazine honored us as what is called a cannot-miss business platform, Income Store. Why? Because we built a contract, and this was a little crazy to even think about it, but we put together a piece of paper that says, here's the deal. You will not fail. The site might fail, there's no question, and we have failed 18 times out of 864, but the program won't fail. If we miss, and I'll show you this slide right here, 864 times people came to us and said, this is the money I need monthly. We said, okay, we'll build you or buy you something. And on 18 occasions, no question, we bombed. Our first bomb was Kerri's dad. Came to us with 70 grand. I'm like, man, I found the perfect site. We built it. We're rocking. I thought it would make $2,500 a month. It never got to $200 a month.
Well, we had to have a guinea pig.
Yeah, well, her dad was the guinea pig. So it didn't go. So it took a year, we retooled it, and now it's at something like $3,100 a month. So we have 18 times missed the mark considerably, and we had to go dip into our operating capital and build and buy a new one so that, as of right now, I love this next slide, we have what's called an act of God clause. There's Google algorithm change. I call it welcome to life on planet Earth. Crap's gonna happen, right? So when crap happens, we enact what's called the act of God clause, which is in the contract of our arrangement. And it simply says, it does not matter the reason that this site is failing, it is failing. So we're just gonna set it aside and build or buy a new one. And so in 18 times, we have put up brand new sites at our dime, and away they go. All right, so?
This is actually one of my favorite because, well, it's my opportunity to brag a little bit.
A little higher.
Okay, my opportunity to brag a little bit. We have offices in Chicago, Naples, which is actually now Atlanta, Romania, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And most of our tech team is down there in Lancaster. And we have events twice a year. Our next event is actually here in LA in October 26th to 29th, where we bring our management team, of course not all of our staff, but our management team, who together have 200 years online experience. And we get to help teach you and show you what we do. So let's talk about you for just a second. Doesn't it drive you nuts when your friend, coworker, or neighbor who's not half as sharp as you are, works half as hard as you do, and of course is half as good looking as you are? That friend, neighbor, and coworker, well, he or she makes way more money than you do. So doesn't it drive you nuts? So how do you change that?
So here's how you do it. I love this analogy. We've taught this to our kids. We've taught this to every friend and relative that'll listen. If I take an 11-year-old and I put him on a 10-speed, male or female, doesn't matter, and I take the last year's winner of the Tour de France on his 10-speed, they're both on 10 speeds. One's an 11-year-old, one's this guy. Who's going to win? Mile-and-a-half race. Who's going to win? Yeah, of course, there's no question. But what if we do this? What if we put him on a tricycle, we keep them on a 10-speed, and we change the vehicle? If we change the vehicle, now they got to race for a mile-and-a-half, who's going to win? The 11-year-old. There's no physical way this man's going to win the race. He can't pedal fast enough. The vehicle wins the race, not the driver. When it comes to making money, Kerri and I have counseled 3,100 companies on making money, from McDonald's, Harris Casino, the biggest banks in the world. We are growth consultants by trade. When it comes to making money, the vehicle makes the money, not the human. You with me on this? So these revenue-generating websites, it has nothing to do with the person or the entity that funded the deal. The vehicle makes the money. You guys cannot mess it up, okay? It's a pretty cool deal. I had to throw this slide in just because we all know, everybody in this room knows, there's 12-year-olds that look like this kid launching websites making $32,000 a month right now. Guarantee it. I guarantee it, right? We took Walter O'Brien to dinner last night at 13. You know, he gets his doors barged down because he's hacked into NASA at 13 years old. True story. Crazy. So I had to throw that in there.
Well, and also our 9-year-old son now has his own YouTube channel and has subscribers. So I guess it doesn't matter the age, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know, everybody's looking for something different. Everyone has a reason, has a why. So we have Maria. You can see Maria's up on the left. Maria, she wanted Plan B. She knew that her industry in Costa Rica, it was going away. The government was coming in. She had minimal amount of time in order to have Plan B ready for her to keep her standard of living. Hashi, who is amazing right here, had a project. She had an amazing project that she wanted to do, and she needed a vehicle to help her achieve her goals. Cynthia, well, her family was in the real estate industry, and we all know what happened in 2008. And then, of course, there's Galena. And Galena, she worked for Boeing. She was a project manager for Boeing, and what did she want? She just wanted out. Sometimes we just want to stop working, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we'd like to hear from Maria and Galena right now.
Can you turn it up a little?
My name is Galina Lipina.
Hi, my name is Maria, and I am from Costa Rica. The reason I'm here is I came as a speaker to share my story, which has been amazing with Income Store.
When we met, we both were coming out of what I would call a low point in both of our lives. We were working like 90-hour weeks or more, and it seemed like crazy to take 2 hours off our agenda because we actually were self-employed.
I met Ken and Bill at a conference. They shared with me their concept and their ideas of Income Store. Guaranteed, no risk, stable every month.
18 months ago, I decided to quit from my businesses. I started purchasing websites from Income Store, websites that they manage for me and that make money for me every month without me having to work.
I got my first site, and then a year later I got my second site, and a year later I got my third site, and then I retired at the age of 33. Do I recommend the company? Yes. It's allowed me to achieve my goals and dreams.
It has made a huge difference in my life.
Okay, so I'm going to brag on Heshi a little bit. Heshi came to us. Yeah, you can clap for that. Heshi came to us last June and said, I've got a bleeding heart for a charity. I've got to fund this. I've got to get it off the ground, get it moving faster. It's all about kids, which makes Kerri and I cry. And so we went to the team and we said, okay, here's the budget Heshi has. We went to the team and said, what exactly could we build that could launch in under a year and make a substantial amount of money? Do you mind if I share? So in less than a year, Heshi put in a couple $100,000, but her site is now making a couple $100,000 a month. Do you follow? So now granted, that's put an asterisk there. That doesn't happen every time. But the point is, I personally believe there's no accident. She means so well. Our team rallied around it and launched a bad to the bone website. So we launched a site called So Share This. Every time a post comes up and it gets shared and people like it, every 100 or 1,000 likes, our company donates money to a different charity each month. And so there's so many different moving parts of this platform. It's just absolutely amazing. Oh, what the heck?
Hi there, I'm
Heshi, you look amazing.
I am a speaker, trainer,
Is there anything to do with that, guys?
founder of a nonprofit
It worked
called
earlier
Kids Better
today.
World. About a year ago, I was looking to diversify my portfolio.
You know what? I don't know what
and
to
I was
say.
at a conference, and there met Ken Courtright. I was totally fascinated with what he had to say, and so at the end of the conference, at an expo, I met up with him. I liked what he was doing. He was doing an event in Philadelphia 2 weeks later. I attended, and that's when I decided that the thing for me to do was to buy a revenue-producing site from Income Store. I have been so happy with what I've done. In fact, the last few weeks, I have actually been blown away. So the next step now is getting ready to buy more sites.
You're awesome, Heshi. So this one's awesome. So Cynthia, and I think this one can relate to a lot of people, her husband was a very large developer in real estate, very large. Commercial buildings, residential buildings, apartment complexes, and they saw the signs that the sand was shifting in the real estate market. And she had one request. She goes, I have a decent chunk of change. I think she put in $180,000, something like that. And she goes, we're doing this because we do believe the real estate business we have is within 3 to 5 years from being taken away from us. And truth be told, 2 years later, that real estate business is gone. So here's a 50-second clip of something pretty cool. Check this out. Oh, can you guys, you want to roll that? Sorry.
Income Store, we believe that we can build and grow websites that become revenue-generating machines. But a belief is just a nice idea until it's acted upon. Only then can it become a proven concept. In this case study, I'll show you that it's absolutely essential to value your visitors using reviews and solid content. That, combined with leveraging the power of affiliate offers, will pay off. SurveySay.com reviews and compares survey websites. It's aimed at helping people to find the best survey sites so they can make money online. We acquired SurveySay.com in September 2015 when it was making around $4,000 a month with 52,000 visitors that month. Now that sounds like a good chunk of change, but a site like this can absolutely do better. So let's talk strategy here. Here's the result that we want to achieve. We want to rank for key terms on the first page on Google searches so people can find us. Spoiler alert, we are ranking on page 1 for all of these keywords right now. Paid surveys, surveys for cash, get paid in the search engines. What is truly amazing about this particular website is that we initially bought a website earning about $60,000 per year. And in just 2 years, we were able to grow it enough to make more than $60,000 per month. Even better, many authority websites are now selling for 10 to 15 times annual earnings. So my guess is that this website partner is very happy right now.
So we have 2 ways to play, and I was just corrected. I was just told that when I was talking about Heshi's website, it was making $200,000 a month. I think I said $2,000 a month. So I want to make sure we're clear that that site's making $200,000 a month. So a month, yeah. Yeah. 2 ways to play. So we have 2 different paths to work with us, right? We believe people fall in 2 categories. Either you have time and no money, or you have money and no time. You guys with me on this? So we have ways to play with both. If you got time but no money, meaning you got $0 to 50 grand, and guys, down there, listen, folks, I did not stutter. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. She knew it was half of that, but it grew again. So 0 to 50 grand, we have 4 different levels to play, including $0. We have over 200 free tools that you can use to grow your own business, podcast, this, that, the other. We have 4 different clubs from $100 a month to $2 grand a month. From 50 grand to 500, we'll physically partner on a website and rev share where your net to your family is 10 grand a year to 100 grand a year plus, way above that. We're literally 30 feet that way in booth 137. And as we do, this is how we actually gain new site partners from these events like this. So if you work with us in the next 7 days, my brother Bill, raise your hand. You'll work with Bill. He'll add 1 to 2% onto the guaranteed minimum return that you receive each month. It's pretty cool. Oh, sorry. You know what? Yeah, we got time. Let me go back. I know.
No, you can't. Not with savings. Good, absolutely. Good. No. So how can you find out a little bit more about us? Well, my husband Ken is amazing, and he has a podcast. You can find him either on Ken Courtright, or you can find him at Today's Growth. We also have a KenCourtright.com, a KerriCourtright.com, and our company is called Income Store. And so go on IncomeStore.com. We both have books. There's a lot of information out there on both of us, as well as our company, and we just really hope to see you at booth 137.
So we'll be 30 feet away at booth 137. See you guys.